Hey, how are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are you? Hang on. Oh God. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be cute, put filters on. It's not working out.
Is
Let
it-
me just.
I know how you feel. The filters are
It
necessary. They're the
was a
best.
cute one. Okay. Let me just let it go. I'm starting to look crazy now. Oh man. I had one that I liked and now I can't find it. Okay.
Ain't it the
Never mind.
worst? I hate when that happens. Like it doesn't
I
save.
know. You look great too.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Oh, a little sparkle. There we go. I like a little
You're
bit
good.
of
Well, I want to ask you first, like, how's it been for you in this crazy, like, how have you been hanging in there, basically, in this crazy, COVID
this
quarantine time we're in?
this year overall. To be completely honest, I am a complete functioning introvert. So I
Okay.
love that it's acceptable to be
Yeah.
at home. um, and not have that pressure of I need, kind of get off that kind of rat race of having to do a million things and feel like you're doing a million things.
hmm
So from a very selfish perspective, yes, I've been quite okay with
Okay,
that.
I agree with you. I'm the same way. Like, if it's not something necessary,
Yeah.
I'm good to just stay in. I have no,
Yes.
it's, I think it's something in the entertainment world. I feel a lot of people are really introvert, out of the limelight. And then once you go
Yeah.
home, you're like, I'm fine. I don't need, like,
No, absolutely. It's a funny one. I think this is my career path and this is all I know and what I do.
mhm.
But I probably wouldn't have chosen it today at the
Yeah,
age now, but here we are, we're in it. So
exactly. Well, no, I want to, I know you just dropped music today, which I'm so excited to talk
yes, I
about.
did. I
But,
did. I'm having a little celebration,
oh, okay,
a little
dope,
celebratory
yes. Yes,
wine.
but I want to bring it back all the way from the beginning, and then I want to come up to today because today is a big day for you.
Yes.
So beginning as a child, growing up in Ireland, in Dublin, what was like? Did you always want to be in entertainment? How did you find out? Did you know? What were your plans?
Um, so yes, as a child, I went to a stage school called the Billy Barry Stage School from the age of
Mhm.
3. Was doing tap, jazz, theater. I loved performing, and I actually had no doubt in my mind as a child that this was what I wanted to do and would always do. I think it was, manifesting before I knew what manifestation was.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it was just something that I never questioned. I never had a
Okay.
backup plan or at that time something else that I thought I'd be happy or fulfilled doing, if I'm being totally honest. So
That's awesome to know. Like, and you actually did it because I feel like a lot of people, it's rough in the world.
it
But
is.
yeah, but I know at 15 you were discovered on a TV show. I
Yes,
think it was Let Me Entertain You.
yes.
Yeah. So how was that? Because I mean, you have to have a lot of guts to get up there too. Like you said, at 15, that's like major production. That's in front of.
Just being an arrogant teenager, like
What?
give me a fraction of that confidence now that I had then. But that really was a great Kickstarter for me. I'd been doing kind of little bits of theater, and I was kind of making different contacts, and but that definitely
Mhm.
sped up that whole process, for sure, without a doubt. So good times.
Yeah. Yeah, I could imagine. Like, so how far after you got discovered there? Because I know it was the guy that discovered it. I think he like created Westlife and Boyzone, if I'm not
Yes, that's
mistaken.
correct. Yes,
Yes.
that was my manager at the time, Louis Walsh. I'm so sorry. Is this filter very off-putting? I'm seeing sparkles pop up all over my face. I look like
Oh,
a cracker or something, like a
you're
firework. Sorry, no, like
you're good. You're good.
um, that came out wrong. Um, yes, so he did. He's most definitely got the ball rolling. I was very lucky in the sense that I got to sign my publishing deal first,
Oh,
and then my record deal. And it did, it moved pretty quickly. I went from
yeah.
being in school or the equivalent of high school to, all of a sudden I'm packing my bags and going to Sweden to write and record and be in London every other week. It was a very quick change, let's say.
Yeah, I could imagine. That was quick. Like because you dropped your album by the time of 17, so that wasn't too much time in between. Because some
Yeah.
people I feel like get signed at 15 and then their album ain't out until like 20. because
Right.
it's, you know, sometimes too long. But you were literally like, go, go, go. Like, how was it? Because you got to write tracks, which is dope too, I feel, for a new artist. Because I feel like a lot of artists on their first album, it's mostly like all tracks given to them, already produced, not really in the studio, just literally laying down the vocals and that's it. So how was it for you, like actually getting to write and meet with everyone?
That's the one thing to this day that I'm so grateful for. And it's
Hmm.
so funny because obviously at that time I was 15, so I was a kid. But
Yeah.
even at the time, there was a disconnect for me. It always felt weird on the songs on the album that I hadn't been involved in the writing process. You know, when you're being handed just a sheet of paper to sing, it's not the same as, you know, those thoughts coming from your, or just having involvement in the process. It's different. But I am very grateful because particularly at that age, you know, a lot of times you don't necessarily have a say or an
Hmm.
involvement in that side of things. So yes, to this day, that's one of the smart decisions.
Yeah,
um,
because you hear so many horror stories, I feel. Like,
yes.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But, you
Yes.
know, I want to talk about, too, because I remember this, like, yesterday. I remember, like, I was asking my mom, like, hey, I want Samantha Mumba's album. It just came out, and I couldn't get it. And it was the first
Ooh,
cover. And then
the original.
the original cover, and then I remember like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm looking for it, and then I see, you know, the new cover, you know, so I
Yes.
was like, I was totally confused because I was only, I think, 13 at the time. But I
Wow.
remember like going to the different, I forgot what store I went to, but I would go get my CDs, and, you know, I seen the difference. Like, how was it for you, a cover change? Because I feel like it happened quick. It was like I said, 1 month I seen it, and then it was off the shelves, and then the new
Yeah.
cover
So I
was
mean,
there.
that very much. God, it's so cool even that you have actual, you know, hard copies. So that change very much so happened once kind of things started taking off over here in America, and
Hmm.
so kind of got involved. And Romp there particularly oversaw a lot of that overhaul. That was kind of the change in Baby coming over. Obviously the CD, you know, just there were different elements added to the album. I mean, I love it. I my preference is definitely the yellow and red one.
Okay, okay,
I
so it is
think
okay.
that at the other one is really bad. So yes, they've made the right choice. But I mean, I didn't care. I was a kid, so yeah, why not? The more the merrier.
Exactly. And I want to ask you too. Like, I know from the original to the re-release, there was a couple new tracks added. There was a couple tracks taken off, and
Yes.
then Baby Con Over was, you know, this is the night. This is your night. You know, how was it exciting for you to read? Because I know the song was already out
Mhm.
internationally, but it wasn't in America. America got the re-release of Come On Over. So, like, how was it for you? Were you excited to re-release it or redo it?
So honestly, and I know it's very different now because you know there's social media and everything is just
Hmm.
different. But certainly at that point, as a European artist, to that would have been like a life goal for me for even my songs to be ever played on American radio. So
Yeah.
for that to be happening so quickly, nobody expected that. You know, the label definitely didn't expect that, and we just weren't prepared for it. So that was an amazing thing, you know, and some of my best memories of kind of that era was when I was in America and, you know, having to do all of the radio shows and be on a tour bus and performing live and getting to, you know, do really what my passion was.
Yeah.
So no, I was just happy to be doing, you know, all of this stuff. I kind of couldn't believe that it was happening, I'm being honest. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and like the crazy thing too, I didn't realize until I guess I was a little older, because America, I think it really only two singles, correct?
yes,
And then in internationally it was six singles, and I didn't
yes,
even realize it until YouTube kind of, you know, because you couldn't see videos unless they were
of
on.
course. Yeah,
Yeah, like if you're not in Europe, you're not going to see your four other singles. You're only going to
right.
see, you know, come on over, and gotta tell you
Yeah,
that, you know, it was crazy. And then I finally seen, I was like, hold on, she has four additional music videos. Like,
right.
yeah, like seeing them later on YouTube and stuff. But how was it making? Because you had like, that's a lot of singles for a first album. Like six, like that's
It
unheard of today.
is. Yeah, when you think about it now, it is. And again, I think that was just a case of, you know, nobody was prepared for America to kind of be in the equation. And I think that's even why it was only the two singles. I was one person. And so you know, we didn't have Zooms or
Uh-huh.
Insta Lives. You know, I was having to physically be in different countries at different, you know, TV shows or whatever the case may be. So it was just that aspect of trying, you know, really needing to clone myself a little bit. And then in the middle of all of that, then I took time out and did a film, which then kind of was probably a bit of a nightmare for the label too. So yeah, it's just, you know, looking back, it's a lifetime ago, but crazy times.
Yeah, I want to ask you, what was your favorite video to release or kind of the treatment? Because you had so many diverse videos.
Without a doubt, Baby Coming Over.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean,
Got
it was just the most fun video for me. It was the most glamorous one, I feel. You know, the dancing, the dancers. We got to shoot it on the Warner Brothers lot. It was just, it was madness. Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing, amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I want to ask you too, like, because I always think anyone that hit was popping in the 2000s, in the beginning, late 90s, early 2000s. It was the
Right.
glory days. We don't have them anymore. I feel bad for kids that'll never experience it because I feel it's just different. And you look forward to watching like TRL, Top of the Pops.
Yes.
Like those, you don't have it anymore. It's crazy. But how, like, what was one of your favorite talk shows or music shows you got to be on that you'll never live down?
I mean, TRL was a classic. That was,
Yeah.
you know, that was and it was always such a fun show to be on and involved in. And there were always so many cool other, you know, personalities or people there too that I was a fan of. And just the fact that it was in New York and the live, you know, it was, yeah, that was probably my favorite.
Okay, dope. Yeah, TRL, like, yeah, I got to make it on there once, and just in the audience, but it was
But it was
before.
cool, wasn't it? Even I feel like even being in the audience, like it was because it was such an
It was
intimate
so
setting in there.
small.
Yeah, so it was very cool.
Yeah, because like on when you're watching it, you're thinking like it's huge, and then you get in there, and I'm like, this is it.
It's
Like
tiny. Yeah.
it's tiny. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but no, it's definitely a memory I'll hold forever. And you know what else I want to talk about too? I feel like you toured a lot in the U.S. Like you said, doing radio shows. Like who did you tour with the most? Which do you remember? Like who did you open for? Who were you on the road with a lot for
I
radio?
opened for NSYNC.
And think, okay,
And again, another one of those kind of for the books. Incredible experience. We had an amazing tour bus. You know, it was me and the dancers. My mom was there. My brother was there. Like we just got to travel the country and have a ball. And just perform to like insane amounts of people every night. Brilliant.
yeah, yeah, because they were doing like stadiums and stuff, weren't they?
Like 80,000 people a night. So that was amazing. Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh, let me ask you, did you come to Chicago?
Yes, I've been. I love Chicago.
Okay.
Are you referring to the NSYNC tour?
Was it insane? Or like the B96 Summer Bash? I feel like you were maybe there.
I would have done a few. To be honest, the radio shows were kind of blending a little bit for me because it was
Yeah.
there was a lot of those going on. But I love Chicago. I went actually and did a club gig in Chicago. I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago, and had an amazing time.
Okay.
So yeah, want to go. Would definitely want to go back. But yeah, I'm sure we did Chicago with the NSYNC tour as well.
You did? Okay, dope, dope. Yeah, like I know, like you said, you did the movie then, The Time Machine, which is crazy. Like off your first album, you had I mean, I remember that movie, and that promo was insane. Like,
Yeah, cool.
yeah, like, and it was a different kind of movie. I feel something new. Like, how was that for you, just getting into the acting part? Because I know, like you said, you had theater behind you, and you did, you know, you went to school for that, for the performing arts. But how was that? Because it's so different from music.
Yeah, I mean, again, when I look back on my life, I'm a chancer, if I'm being completely honest. And I just go with it. And if I can wing it, then fine. The only reason that came about was because myself and my brother were in People magazine, and the casting director saw that. I know they've been trying to cast the role for a while. I had no thoughts of actually getting it. You know, I did the audition, thought nothing of it. And it just worked out in my favor. And I'm so grateful. That was absolutely a memory that I'll take to the grave. It was a phenomenal experience. I mean, even just to be working on a film of that, you know, that stature and budget.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like you'd live in my trailer. It was stunning. So yeah, like, you know, honestly, I have to say a lot of the American experiences are standout for me because, you know, again, probably being a European artist, kind of looking to American acts are the pinnacle of, you know, kind of what you can achieve. so I still kind of, they would still be pinch me moments for me.
That's so awesome. Yeah, like I want to ask you that too. Like coming to America, was it everything you expected or totally different? Because I know from Europe to America, it's so different. Like,
It is.
yeah, like it's
It
crazy
is.
difference.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think in the beginning I struggled with it a little bit, because I thought it was mad.
Yeah.
I still kind of do, but I love it. It's a good mad. And honestly, it was really when I came to LA that was, I just instantly fell in love with this place and felt at home and knew that I would live here eventually.
Mhm.
And here I am 15 years later, still here. So,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, like, and then, so after the first album, you did the movie, and now you did I'm Right Here. How, I've heard different stories, I've heard
Yes.
different things, that the second album was coming, but then I
Yes.
heard it was never coming. So, set the record straight, would you say? Like, was it a lot of tracks already done?
So there would have been, yeah. I mean, I think there's I don't know who released this, or I'm presuming maybe my old label. I don't know. There is an unofficial album that was just of demos that I had done.
Okay.
I think like a lot of acts at that time, I kind of got stuck in that merge when a lot of the labels were merging down into like 2 and 3 big labels. So a lot of my core team that I would have been with from day one were gone, were moved to other departments, were fired. And I was kind of just put in that limbo, which, to be completely honest, really suited me at the time. I'd been working for, 4 years straight, out of a suitcase. Like I was exhausted. So at that point, I bought my house in Dublin, and that became Club Mumba. And I got to, act my age and
Yeah.
have fun. So yeah, it's one of those things. I kind of just got stuck in it. So I couldn't release music. If I'm being honest, I wasn't fighting to do that either because I was ready for the break. And then when eventually I was released from the deal, it was kind of just a re-phasing period, because then I moved over here to LA, and I don't know, I get it, because I'm the same with other acts when I'm like, what happened to them? Where do they go? And I've really just this whole time been living my life and enjoying my life and having experiences and adventures, and good, bad, and ugly, and figuring it out. So I'm grateful for that.
That's good to know, because I feel like a lot of people don't. Well, I feel like at that time too, if you didn't hear it on, like a newspaper, unfortunately, or the new like music news or something, you didn't know, like, there was no social media. It's such a different. It I kind of wondered how it would be if social media was around. Like, would it be I feel like it would have been a bad thing, because
I mean, I just feel like I would have had a lot of what was she wearing moments. I would have had a lot of archived posts. But yeah, I mean, I think there's two sides to everything. In one way, I think it would have been amazing, because I was very much so in this protected bubble where I wasn't able to connect with people. I wasn't able to do things like this, So I do think there's a lot of power in that. And I do think it's great that now you can have that connection and build relationships with people, and kind of take that mystery away, or whatever that was. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's how it was. I feel like it's kind of like you were untouchable. Like, we seen you on stage, we seen you on the shows, we seen you on the award shows, but it was kind of like, it was just a different. I almost felt like artists at that time, me growing up, it was kind of like they were almost like a god in a weird sense of way. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't.
Well, you didn't have access to them. Whereas, now I could be brushing my teeth in the morning or whatever. I mean, not that I ever would do that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
exactly.
Different. So I think this is a good thing. I think this is a great thing. I'm just very late to the social media party, but yeah, I think it's cool.
Okay, yeah. And, I want to ask you too, I know you released the Christmas EP. Now, that was right after I'm Right Here, right? Or a couple?
If I'm being completely honest, I don't know. It might have been a year or two after. Really.
Right?
That was honestly just a one-off thing that I did with a musician named Phil Coulter in Ireland, and it was tied in with a newspaper release. So it was basically like the newspaper's Christmas gift for the readers that we collaborated on. And now it's up there. Honestly, I definitely would love to. I just didn't have time this go around to do all of that, but I definitely would love to do that, for next Christmas. Yeah, why not, But I did release I suppose the equivalent of my Christmas single today. which I'm very excited about, called The Process, or Process, as I submitted it. But yeah, you know, that's kind of my Christmas offering, or my roundup of 2020, I suppose.
Which I was excited of. Like, literally, I woke up, I was like, no way. Because I seen the cover art, and I was like, hold on, is it out yet? Or is it, like, are you just premiering the cover? I was like, oh,
It was
no.
just a casual little extra drop. You know, initially we kind of bounced the idea around of just doing a double A side, you know, kind of like back in the day. And I know it's probably a bit mad to be releasing 2 singles 2 weeks apart, but this is the fun for me. You know, there's no rules. I don't have to answer to scary men in suits that I've no access, you know, like I'm the scary man in the suit now. So, so, you know, I feel like it really sums up this year for me. It's very close to me personally. And, you know, I just hope people can relate to it. And, you know, if anything, maybe a little bit uplifting or encouraging. Yeah.
No, definitely. That's what I want to ask you too. Like, going independent and, like you said, being the head in charge. Like, how was it for you? Was it a lot to get used to? Because, like you said, in the beginning, you have so many people doing everything for you. You had, like, I feel like people had teams of like 15, 20 people, and you just got on stage and were hair and makeup and thrown around. And I feel like you didn't sleep. I feel like you were like a robot almost, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was a little bit like that, to be completely honest. Although I think for the longest time, that was why I didn't revisit music. I think I was a little bit burnt out by the industry, and I wasn't really into it for a good few years anyway. But it was hard for me to get out of the mindset of not having a big machine behind me or not being signed to a major label, because that was very much so an indicator back in the day of whether you were legit or not, you know? And I, for a long time, was fine with just leaving everything where it was in the past and, you know, letting that be what it was. And then seeing so many artists, you know, do their own thing and just get my own head around it. I'm an overthinker.
Yeah.
I really am. So now it's the best thing ever. You know, I'm grateful to not be signed. I'm grateful that I can make those choices and have the freedom with my own art and own it. So it's been wonderful in that regard, you know?
Yeah. I want to ask you too, like, being in this new age of music, because it's so different, what's a pro that you love and what's a con that you, like, what's something that you miss about the industry?
Well, the pro is creative control. Absolutely. And the con, I mean, you know, it's a lot of work. So sometimes it was kind of nice having that big machine and team and drivers and, you know, all of that just there at your disposal. I'm not going to lie. But that's not real life. And I'm not afraid of hard work. And you know, I think if you really have a passion for something, nothing comes easily and you have to want to put that work in. And, you know, this is a slow build for me. I'm not expecting an overnight huge thing. That's not what I want. It doesn't fit in with my own life either. But I'm just really proud of the music and I genuinely stand behind this. And I'm just happy to be able to share that with whoever's interested in my music now, you know?
No, definitely. Yeah, like, I want to talk about, you know, you drop Cool, and now you drop Process, like 2 total different songs.
Yes.
Yes, like, and I love that it's not the same, you know, because so many people I feel release music and it's like, okay, it's almost the same type of track. But, well, first up, we're Cool. Like, so I love the beat. Like, the beat is like, how can I explain, like, almost unorganized, but organized in the same way.
Yes, and that was very specific. You know, my producer, shout out to Drewski, is incredible. And I will never forget that day in the studio. You know, we were figuring out, you know, what the vibe was, what did we want to create. And I very much so just wanted something that was purely a vibe, that wasn't a standard traditional song, you know, and that's what I got. And I love it. And that was scary to release that as the first single because it's so not traditional. And it isn't even indicative of the rest of the music. So, but you know what? I went for it and I love it and I stand behind this. And kind of the beauty of then the Process is that they are polar opposites, you know?
Yeah. We'll talk about the video too, because the video was
for
definitely
Cool.
out there. It was super dope. And I heard you on, I think it was on Live, people asking like, why wasn't there no dancing? And it's like, well, we're in COVID. Like, how could you really, I mean, it's not the easiest right now.
It's just not, it just wasn't the safest, you know, we played around with that idea. Obviously I would have loved to do something like that, but it just wasn't going to be the safe option. and I don't want to do it and it be half done. You know, I think if
Exactly.
something like that is going to happen, it has to be all out or nothing. So definitely have huge plans for some of the unreleased music in that regard. But you know, cool is very much so just a vibe, and that's what the video
Hmm.
was.
Yeah. I
No,
love all the different looks. Like, you just didn't have one look. You had like, what, 4 or 5 different looks?
listen, we went balls to the wall. We
Yeah.
got that in 7 hours.
Did you really?
Yes, yes. Mark Cleary was the director, and he's just been a gem, like a godsend to work with. He gets me, um, and he just, you know, wasn't afraid to really push those ideas, and very much so. It's about, you know, whatever is good to you. It's all about body positivity, self
Hmm.
worth. You know, whatever that is. That there's no
Yeah.
rules, and there, you know, I think some people get stuck into titles and this and that, and you know, it was very much so just about being whatever you want to be, and that being great and wonderful, and empowering. So I hope
Yeah.
people got that from the
No,
video.
definitely. Like, it was a vibe. It was a dope vibe. Like, I could just hear that once the world opens up. Like, in the club, I could hear that.
I
It's
know, that's
just,
what's killing me. I would love to be able to be
yeah.
doing club shows and performances, but that's definitely something to look forward to for 2021. I hope.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Like, and then, Process you dropped today. The video, I mean, the song, the lyrics alone are so meaningful.
Thank you.
But yeah, but the actual video, like, it's so simplistic, but
Yeah.
so important and so relevant of what's, I mean, you put everything of what's going on in the world this year, because it's, we, there's no words for it, basically,
It's
but
just so much, you know, and I think it's interesting. When I wrote that song, I think that was probably about a year and a half ago. It was pre-COVID anyway.
okay.
So I've been sitting on it for a while, and it always meant something to me. And then it was just kind of getting closer to the end of the year. And actually, it was Mark who brought it to my attention, where it was like, this really sums up
Yeah.
2020. And it was like, shit, yeah, it does, you know? And I think for everybody, myself included, this has been a really tough year.
Mhm.
It's just, it's too much to even unpack, you know?
Yeah.
And I think the video does capture that, you know, hopefully in an uplifting way. You know, things don't stay the same. Things are a
Hmm.
process. Life, all of this little journey that
Yeah.
we're all on individually and collectively, is a process. And that's the great thing, that nothing stays the same forever. So if it's a shit time, that means it's going to be a great time, you know?
Yeah.
If it's a great time, there's going to be a shit time coming up too. But that's okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it feels like a nice way to close out the year for myself musically anyway.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask you too. Like, are you gonna? Because I love what a lot of independent artists I feel are doing this dope merchandise. Because I hope you make a single. I know, like, I love physical. Something
Yes,
I could hold. Like, I'm that old school. I don't know. I like looking at the production and
me
who
too.
the writers and where you recorded it at. Like,
Yeah.
kids don't know it today. Kids just listen to a song. They're like, I like the song. I'm like, you don't.
You don't even know about it. No, it's
No,
so
it's
true. I even miss, you
yeah,
know, not being able to write my little credits, or, you know, it's all of
yeah.
that stuff. So I am actually looking into, I would love to get some copies made on vinyl.
Okay.
I think that'd be
Yes.
dope. So I am looking into that. I do currently, on my Insta bio, I do have a merch tab that I'm going to be updating as well.
Okay.
But I have some kind of cool little things in there as already. But
Uh-huh.
definitely I'm going to be kind of getting more into the merch side of things. But I agree, you know, I think it's nice to have those things and mementos and, you know.
Yeah, I miss my CDs and my
I
cassettes, like, or
know.
my single cassettes, like, in the little
Yes.
cardboard. Like,
Yes.
those, oh, it was awesome. Those were the glory days. Like,
I
people,
agree.
yeah, it's so crazy. But, with the new music, like you said, I know you're working on it currently.
Yeah.
How much have you recorded so far? And what is ideal for you? Would you say like an EP, or do you want to drop a full LP?
Initially, I was feeling like an EP, but truly, I am very more towards an album, you know, or both. You know, I don't know. I have a lot of material. I have maybe about, I don't know, maybe 18 or 19 songs. I still want to record a little bit more. And kind of now that I've kind of released some bits, I've gotten some really good feedback, and it's been great to kind of get an idea or a feel of what people are gravitating towards, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what it's for, you know. There's no point in me
Yeah.
doing everything and, you know, everybody hating it. So I definitely want to take a little bit more time, and even some of the tracks that I already have, fine tune those and, you know, and play around a little bit more. But no, I plan on hitting the ground running in 2021.
Dope. Yeah, and how has it been like you said, you release the music and then you could communicate with the fans now.
Yeah.
How dope is it for you to actually talk to the fans that have been with you for 20 years, which is crazy to even think, but.
No, it's amazing. And to be honest, even doing this live, this is all new for me. I never get on live. I never, ever do it. But I've started kind of, you know, warming myself up to it and getting into it. And now I'm enjoying it. Now it's fun. It's like, oh, this is great. I get to sit at home and have a glass of wine and talk to you. This is wonderful. So it's nice, you know, and always, even kind of over the years, I've loved kind of, you know, getting messages and DMs from people, and even just getting that feedback of how one of my little songs maybe helped somebody through a crap time, or, you know, like that means so much to me. And I'm so grateful, you know, to be a part of anybody else's journey. I just think that's beautiful. So, so no, I don't take any of that stuff lightly. I appreciate it all. Yeah,
that's awesome. And another thing, like, how is it making music now that you're a mom? How is it for, like, because I know you dropped in between, what was it, 2013 and 14, you dropped, what was it, Somebody Like Me and Only Just Begun.
Yes. Oh my God, yes, I even forgot about that. Somebody Like Me was on a TV show called The Hit in Ireland. It was an incredible show, incredible concept, all about songwriters. So that was gorgeous. I loved doing that. And then Only Just Begun. That was kind of when I want to say dipping like my baby toe in the water, but not really committed, not really getting it, not knowing where to start. Didn't even have my own label in place, you know, just kind of throwing it out there and then running away and hiding again. Which again is process. This is part of the growing pains, you know? So yeah, I mean, I played around a little bit, but this, I'm very much so focused and serious about what I'm doing now.
Well, how does your daughter, like, what does she say? Like, how was it to get feedback from, you know, your child? Because it's such a difference where, you know, you're just single and living the life and on the road.
Oh, yeah. Look, my daughter comes first before everything. And truly, that just is what it is. So it's again, the beauty of doing it myself. You know, I can schedule stuff around, you know, when it suits to be at the studio, you know, that isn't inconveniencing her and her schedule and, you know, things that we like to do too much. So it's just a balancing act, you know, and just being a team and just figuring it out. So that's what it is.
I want to ask you too, like, how has she watched a lot of your like performances on like TRL or Top of the Pops? Or
no, God, no, that would be terrible. Just sitting down with her, like, look at me. No, she wouldn't even, no, she wouldn't be into that. I love her being involved. She's involved in a lot of things that I do. And even in terms of branding, you know, she's too much of me to keep that separate. So we've done several shoots together. She's in the Process video that dropped today. She's on the single cover, you know. So we're a duo. We're a little team. That's my baby.
It's so dope. Like that's why I was so excited when I seen the cover and I seen her on it. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like to incorporate, because I feel like it's just necessary, and especially in this time. Like family is everything.
Oh God, absolutely. I mean, this year it's shown us one thing. It's just, you know, it just weeds away all of the nonsense and the unimportant things. And what do you have when all of that's taken away, you know? And I 1,000,000% agree, you know?
Yeah. And like, what would you say is one of your defining moments, would you say, in your career so far? What's something that really was like, dang, I made it?
I think, I mean, again, it's going to be America. I think going gold, one of my album going gold in America, that's huge. That will always be huge for me. I wish I had, you know, the disc. I don't have any of that stuff, but I wish I did.
Yeah.
But that's huge, you know, just as an artist, that's a big accomplishment. And I kind of don't really get stuck up on those things per se. I just, you know, I don't know. I'm just kind of one of those people that lives my life day by day.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, I kind of get on with it. But yeah, I'm proud of that.
Have you ever thought of like getting on reality TV or no?
I'm just too honest. Reality TV and wine, I don't know about that one.
Because so many people turn to it, I know, you know, to different outlets, I guess.
Look, absolutely. It depends. If it was the right thing, absolutely, why not, you know? but I suppose it just all depends on what that would look like. But yeah, I'm a bad liar, so I don't know.
What would you say is still on your bucket list that you want to do, professionally and personally? What do you still want to do in your life?
Bucket list, more personal things, I suppose. You know, there's still so many places I want to visit and so much traveling I would love to do. And I'm very lucky that I got to travel so much of the world as a young girl, but all I saw were airports. And, you know, like I've been a lot of places, but I haven't actually been to experience a lot of places. So personal things. In terms of professionally, I don't know. You know, I feel like I'm going to have 4 or 5 more professions before before I'm an old lady, hopefully. I don't know. I just love being creative, and definitely a goal is just really focusing, you know, on my business. I really want to build my brand and expand that, you know, and max that out as much as I can. So I'm plodding away here.
That's dope. And, you know, to wrap up, final question, you know, like you said, I know you're making music, tons. What, are you working with anyone in particular, like a dope producer or a dope feature you want to get on the track still?
Definitely, Drewski, Andrew Scott, he's amazing. He's produced 99.5% of everything I've done, you know, and it just works. We write great together. We work well together. He kind of gets me and has let me kind of spread my wings a little bit and play around with different sounds. So I don't know. I kind of like my little crew, you know. I don't like changing too much. If it's not broken, you know, all of that good stuff. So, you know, of course I'm open to, I would love to work with different people. I would love to collaborate with different people. I would love to write for other artists as well, you know. But we'll see. Who knows?
Well, I want to thank you so. I can't wait to meet you personally in person one day. Like, you definitely got to sign these so I could.
I love that so much. Thank you.
I love my hard copies. Like, they're. I do have it somewhere. I got to find it because it's probably like storage. But I have the, what was it? I think "Gotta Tell You" single with your hands.
Yeah.
With the braids, with the purple background.
They were so bad.
I was trying to find it. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to find it in time. I'm like, but I know I have the full
That's
record.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
But I want to wish you all the best of luck. I can't wait.
Thank you so much.
Yes, like, good luck. Stay safe. Stay
too.
Healthy.
You
Can't wait
too.
for. I'm so excited for the music already you put out, and then what the future holds in 2021 and 2022. Unfortunately, it seems like it may be that, but we don't know still.
Well, I'll be at home, happy in my little bubble. But no, the same to you. I really, really appreciate you for having me on your show, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, and I can't wait. Like I said, when you come to Chicago, we definitely got to link up.
Most definitely.
Tell you anywhere you need to go. I'm your man. I just moved back from LA last year.
No
With COVID when COVID hit, it was just kind of
time to go home for a little bit. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me go home for a little bit.
Yeah.
LA's always going to be there.
Exactly. I hear
3-hour ride, so I'm fine with the plane.
Most definitely. Well, we will definitely figure that out. But thank you so much.
Yes. Okay. Be safe. Have a great one. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.